So, hi again. As you can see, I've just recently added some more lighting, and that's mainly because I couldn't see anything. So I've got a magnifying glass in my lamp so I can actually see. Right now, I'll try to point out the spots for you guys so you can see where things go. But I'm not sure if you'll actually be able to see it. I hope so. Anyways, starting from the end with two copper pads, you'll have the power cables here. They'll come in from the bottom, which is the grip hand side. Underneath, right next to that, right to the left of it, there's a circle. On the circle, that's for the capacitor, which is a, let me see, 25 volt, 100 microfarad capacitor, which will be just a standard aluminium capacitor. It'll also come down from the grip, and that's because it is quite big compared to the rest of it. So we'll just do that to make sure that it'll go perfectly. Then we have got a few different things. Starting from the bottom right hand corner, you'll see that we have the J7. That's for the OLED screen, and it's in some sort of direction I can't remember, but that's in the specs. Same goes for the max switch. I'm fairly sure that's the J9. And then we've got the rotary encoder, which is the J6. And then I am fairly certain that the J8 is actually for the secondary motor input from a second stage, if you want that. Then we've got the trigger contact, that's the J5 at the upper hand corner. Okay. And then the D pads are for the diodes, C pads are for the capacitors, the R pads are for the resistors, and then you've got the Q1 and the IC2, which is for the MOSFET and buck converter. Not necessarily in that order, I can't remember which one is which, but we'll figure that out. As for the big pins, you can see down here is for the Arduino Nano. So that's where the Nano goes at the last point, and we'll actually have to solder that one on because we figured out after we made the PCB that it'll get too high with the headers, so we'll have to solder that one on. At the other end, one thing with the Nano, make sure that you have the USB port facing towards the power cables. There's also marked USB on the board, but it's not that obvious, so make sure that the USB port is pointing towards the power cables, which is this side over here. Okay. At the other end, we have, and I'll start from like entirely out, we have a plus and a minus side for two ESCs. I'm fairly sure that these will be able to handle a 4-in-1 ESC as well, so I'll try that at some point once I get the carbine files, and I'll test it out and see if that actually works. Then you have a minus and an S, and that's for the signal of each ESC. And each of these signals will go together in one, which will go to, I think it's D9 or D10. Regardless, you just put your signal from the single ESCs into single, and the signal, sorry, it's been a long day, and the ground into the ground. As for the big pads in the middle, you simply just put on the two cables from the solenoid right here, and that will make the solenoid work with power and everything, so you don't have to worry about anything. Just plug the solenoid in right there. And that's basically how the PCB is gonna work. I'll try to do one tab right here and see if I can actually do this the right way. So I guess I'll just start with one of the passive components, and I'll probably just take we can take the D1. Now, I haven't found the D1 thingy yet. So actually, let me just see my list. R2. Okay, so the R2 is actually up here, so we'll just get that one. So I'll heat up the pad for just a second, and if I'm lucky, there we go. that should be enough. Just a tiny bit of, yeah. Okay, so the way I'll do it now is I need to find R2, and R2 is a 10K resistor in the right pattern. Now, we've only got one pattern on these, so that simplifies things. And I've written 10K on one of these packages, so let me just see. This is the 10K one. So just to give you guys an idea of how small these are, this is basically the size of it. This is my finger, so they are very tiny. You can see one of them there. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with. And I'll just take one of them out here, like so, and just flip it on out. There we go. Okay, so one of the things that Ben asked me about when we started talking about doing videos like that, I asked him simply, what kind of questions would you have if you were to solder one of these on? And the first one was, well, how the hell do these things even like flip around? How do I turn these? And that's a really, really good question. So this is the underside, all right? So that's the white one, that's the underside. And the other side is actually where the text is. So, or the other side, yeah. So the way I'll turn this is I'll probably just grab onto this one like so. And then I'll turn it in the direction that I'm gonna push it in to. Okay, so I put 10 on the upper cap right here. So I'll move this one up like so. I'll just see if I can flip this. Oh, this is hard without the proper tools for it. But the thing is that you'll want to align these so it's easy just to push it in. So let me just see. Yeah, right about that. Now at this point I would probably, because I'm right-handed, I would probably turn the board so I could easily solder with my right hand and then push it in with the left. But I am not a smart man. I'm trying to show you guys this. So what I'll do is I'll just try to turn myself a bit and then try to see if I can actually do this without screwing it up. And it doesn't want to go in. And that's probably because I don't have a good grip on the component. So I'll just try to see if I can get a grip on it. Like so. I'll see if I've got enough solder on there. Not sure if I actually do that. No. I think I'll add a bit more solder and see if that actually helps out. So, learn from my mistakes. Add a bit more solder if not, sure. Oh, that's enough. Definitely enough. Oh, shit. Let go of my component. Ah! There we go. All right. So that's definitely enough solder. And I'll just see if I can get this one off right there. Okay. So as you can tell, I'm really good at this stuff. All right. So we'll just grab the side here again and heat it up, the pad, and then we'll try to let this one go down right on top of it. Now this will be some fuckery stuff. Oh, I'm sure I can't say stuff like that on YouTube, I guess. Well, I don't know. Regardless, right now one end is soldered onto the board, I think. I'm fairly sure. I need to make sure that it's completely liquid. And you can see that it's liquid right there. You don't want all those taps on it, but as far as I'm concerned, that's good enough for me. I just need it to stick, and I need it to stick at the right-hand side of the right side of the pad. So I'll take the other side and I'll do the bit where I just heat this up and add it right there and add it right there. And I'll just see if I got everything underneath. I think that's plenty there. Plentiful. Now, what I didn't do in between here was basically I didn't see if I could actually see if this was properly aligned and everything is down and it's looking all right. So I'll just do that quickly and I'll just take it up and flip it to the side, see if I can see if it's, I think it's called tombstoning, if it's like raising up from the dead, so to speak. And this is really hard for you guys to see, but it's aligned to, it's not jumping up from the board, perhaps a little bit, but I think it's fairly stuck on there. So that's we'll accept that one, and we'll move on. And basically, that's what we'll do the entire way through. But I've just seen my wife, and she's telling me that dinner's almost ready. So I'll jump off for now, and I'll upload these videos, and then I'll probably continue this one later on, because I've got a few more boards I need to solder up for some nice people in Switzerland. So I'll do that. Anyways, thanks for listening in, and I hope you could use this just a little bit at least. Right, cheers.